Welcome to Sports Beat KC, a sports podcast presented by the Kansas City Star. I'm Blair Kerkhoff. The Chiefs wrapped up the next phase of off-season training activities with the conclusion of the 3-day rookie minicamp. Practicing with the team over the weekend were the 6 draft selections, 17 undrafted free agents, 40 tryout players, and a handful of others. Chances are the draft picks and 2 or 3 from the free agent pool will make the team. Chiefs beat writer Brooke Pryor and I are here to break it down. Brooke, is it time to make Super Bowl plans based on rookie minicamp conclusions?
No, you know what it's time for is aloe. We just spent 3 days outside for at least 2.5 hours a day watching 72 guys, 8 of which may be relevant. Yeah, maybe 10.
8 to 10. That's a good number. 8 to 10.
I will say it was a strong class of rookies at this mini camp. I think Andy Reid said as much. We listened back to the audio a couple times trying to figure out if he was saying that this was the strongest class that they've ever had in rookie minicamp or if the wide receivers were the strongest among the groups at rookie minicamp. But I think after listening to it a couple times, he was trying to say that this group overall is one of the strongest that he's had, if not the strongest that he's had. And I think that, they looked like rookies. We were not watching an NFL practice, but we were watching some guys try to figure it out.
And it's hard to get a sense of linemen, offense and defensive linemen at rookie minicamp.
They're big humans. That's what we've learned.
That can hit pads hard. They can hit the blocking pads pretty hard. And really, for me, and I don't know how you felt about it. For me, when I go to these non-padded practices, really. The only judgments there are with the arm strength of quarterbacks who aren't going to be part of the team, wide receivers, their ability to catch the ball. You really can't even tell from running backs. Everybody looks fast, right?
Right. Everybody looks fast. Everybody looks like, I was going to say everybody looks good, but that's not true. Everyone. It's hard to judge because it's just the same level of talent for the most part going up against the same level. There were some people who separated themselves. I mean, I think about running back Darwin Thompson. He looked really fast, making some cuts. But again, they're not wearing pads. They're not really hitting each other. So it's hard to tell exactly what that would look like against a better, a real NFL defense. But I thought he was impressive. Wide receiver Cody Thompson, another UDFA. He looked really good. John Lovett was really intriguing, the Princeton quarterback turned tight end H-back, who's going through things on a limited basis as he was getting over wrist surgery. Jamal Custis, he's a guy that signed, got $100,000 in guaranteed money from the Chiefs.
Which is really impressive. Yeah, pretty unusual for, I think it was Adam Schefter who tweeted that that's the most that an undrafted rookie free agent has signed in 2 years.
Chiefs are just
at his position,
throwing money around.
But what that also says is when I asked Andy about this today about did the undrafted free agent wide receivers look good, I was trying to get to the point that they might. They might need guys.
They will need guys at that position, regardless of what happens in the Tyreek Hill situation. That depth is pretty depleted with the departure of Chris Conley. They don't add back DeAnthony Thomas. So you've got Sammy Watkins, who was hurt for a lot of last year, Demarcus Robinson, maybe Tyreek Hill, Garrett Dieter. It's not exactly an A-list class of guys that you feel good with depth and everything else. Sammy Watkins, premier wide receiver, but he has an injury problem.
Yes, he does.
And so you can't really hang your hat on that. Demarcus Robinson was good in bit roles throughout the year, but you don't really want to hang your hat on that. And when you've got the NFL MVP, reigning MVP as your quarterback, you kind of want to stock that group with some more talent. And so, I think you're right that was a huge priority in the undrafted free agent group. And that's why we saw Cody Thompson, Jamal Custis, John Lovett, who are some of those other receivers. I've got my list right here.
If you hear paper shuffling, we're going to our
Andre Lindsey.
roster.
Andre Lindsey, another wide receiver. Jameer Jordan.
Michigan State kid. Who was there was one from Michigan State, and I know that because Adam Teicher was cussing him a few times.
Wore his Michigan State hat to make sure he could get the good quotes.
But anyway, but you're right. I mean, there are that was maybe the one position group that you could Felton Davis. Thank you very much. That you could identify as, or at least make a call on. I thought Cody Thompson made some diving catches that were pretty impressive. Custis, they give him that money. I think he's going to be with the team. When we talked about,
you would think so. Otherwise, he just pulled off the best hustle of all time.
Very good.
That's nice.
One of the other aspects of rookie minicamp is we get to know the draft picks a little bit better because each of them come to the podium, spend 5 to 7 minutes talking to the media. Probably for some, maybe for the first time in that kind of setting. And we got to talk to all 6 of them, and let's hear from one. Let's hear from Darwin Thompson, the running back from Utah State. I thought he was really interesting, and I know you did too.
You mentioned that a lot of what you do is for the people that you feel like you're inspiring. Have you heard from a lot of them since you were drafted?
Definitely. It's a lot of kids that who either stand 5'8" or just from Oklahoma, just shorter guys, or just being from Oklahoma in general. I mean, when people think of Oklahoma, they think we ride horses on the street. I got family in California, they think we got carriages and horses. So just people with single mothers, things like that. Like, I plan to give back. That's one of the main things I want to do. Is when I was younger, I didn't get my first pair of cleats until I had soccer cleats, my first pair of cleats. That next season, I had to wear the same pair of cleats. So when I have enough money, I want to buy that first pair of cleats for kids that come to my camps. That way they have their first pair. And everybody can afford it, but I definitely plan on giving back to the kids.
So what'd you make of Darwin? I thought he was pretty genuine.
Yeah, I think genuine's a really good word for him. And he's someone who, when we talked to him on the phone after the draft, we all kind of looked at each other like, oh, man, he's got a good story. We're pumped about this one. Kid from Jenks, Oklahoma, in the Tulsa area, doesn't have any offers out of high school. And he's modeling his game after Adrian Peterson and DeMarco Murray. And he just wants to be that running back. And then he's a 3-star composite guy, according to 247, but he has to go to NEO, Northeastern Oklahoma A&M, for 2 years.
It was three.
It was 3, you're right.
He had to redshirt his first year in junior college.
Right, and to see, how often do you have a guy that redshirts his first year in junior college and ends up being an NFL draft pick?
Not so many.
Exactly, and this is a small guy. He's 5'8", 200 pounds. He's small in stature, not necessarily in bulk. I mean, this is a guy...
Okay,
what's he called? Rocked up bodybuilder.
Up.
I believe I described him as having a chiseled physique, which is correct. We all saw his traps, which he was very proud of. He started those in junior of high school and said they've never left since. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that, but anyway. But yeah, so this guy, the thing that I thought was interesting, I don't remember if you asked the question or if someone else asked the question, but essentially, was he told that he couldn't do it because of his size, and kind of what's he fueled by? And he said, I'm less fueled by the people, my haters, and more fueled by the people who I inspire, the kids that are, 5'8" and below, and kids from single mothers, and kids from Oklahoma. And I just thought that was, so genuine, like you said, and just a guy that, you have to root for. I mean, he has, he's coming out of Utah State, not, typically a program that you think of when you think of producing great NFL running backs. Unrecruited guy at a high school, smaller guy.
Poor. Obviously poor.
Yeah.
With the cleats, how about that? The
exactly.
soccer cleats.
Saying he grew up, that he wore for 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a guy, and he looked really good in rookie minicamp. Granted, again, it's rookie minicamp. What can you really take from that? But I thought he was pretty impressive.
They had him back returning kicks and punts. Now, I think he told us that he had returned kicks at Utah State and maybe in junior college, but not punts. Punts are a first for him. But again, that's another position to keep an eye on as the Tyreek Hill development unfolds. Tyreek, he started out as a punt returner and a kick returner for the Chiefs. They took the kickoff returns away, so he's just been returning punts the last couple of years. But who knows? Whatever his future is with the Chiefs, the team might be in a market for a new punt returner. Now, the guy who was returning punts with the ones was the first player that they drafted in the second round, McCole Hardman, and he was a topic at the final day of rookie minicamp. I thought there was what I saw from him as we were standing out there in the heat the first couple of days were one too many drops.
Yes, that was kind of the story of the first 2 days. Was he dropped a lot of punts?
Maybe nervous, or what do you think?
Could be, because I think then the takeaway from today was he looked much better.
Absolutely.
I didn't see. He may have had a drop, but I didn't. There wasn't a glaring one versus the first 2 days. I remember every time I looked at him, it felt like the ball was on the turf or the grass or whatever it is that they're practicing on. But that was one of the big things that Andy Reid talked about today, was that he was most impressed by his improvement and the way that he kind of picked up things quickly. That the first time he saw him run a dagger route, it was brutal.
That was the word.
What he said, brutal. That's
Twice.
Twice. He really emphasized it. He wants you to know that it was not pretty. And then he did it again and did it again and did it again. And with all those reps, he finally started to get it. And so you can tell, I mean, he's a rookie. I'm sure his head's swimming. This is a complex playbook, and he's just kind of working through these things. He's not coming into the league as a clone of Tyreek Hill. You know, they liked him for his Tyreek Hill qualities on the field, but it's going to take some time for him to get there. And I think that's what you saw him kind of working through during minicamp, is he has the speed, but he needs kind of the nuance of the position, and that's what he's starting to learn.
So I think McCole Hardman and Darwin Thompson were two players, just by virtue of the position that they play, had the greatest opportunity to impress at rookie minicamp. Defensive backs also have an opportunity to make plays, and we did see we did see an interception on Saturday.
It was Saturday, yeah. Waited 3.5 hours. In the last team activity, in the last team drill, Juan Thornhill, bless his heart, came through for us, gave us all something to write about. That's why you stand out there for all that time.
And one of the, as I said earlier, we do get to know the draft picks a little bit better because of the interviews. They bring him to the podium, and so Juan Thornhill was another one of those that we got to talk to. He was the Chiefs' second pick in the second round and second overall for the Chiefs. I thought he had one of the better anecdotes. His first meeting with Chiefs fans occurred before minicamp started, and here's what he had to say about meeting Chiefs fans for the first time.
Honestly, it was really great. I got here, then I just thought I was gonna have like some press conferences and meet the coaches and things like that. But they was like, we're gonna go over to the stadium and we're gonna meet a little bit of fans, not too many. And I went over there thinking like, okay, this is gonna be a few. It's not that bad. I walked in, it was just so many fans. I was like, oh my, because like I'm not used to talking in front of a lot of people like that. And then I had to go up on stage and basically give like a little speech in front of them. But it wasn't bad at all, just because of the fact that, I mean, you say one thing, they going crazy in the stadium and they just love you. So I mean, it wasn't bad at all, but it was a great experience.
Did some fans know you were ready? Did some fans know you were ready? Were they recognizing you, or was it more?
I walked in and fans were like, hey, how you doing, Juan? Things like that. I was like, I didn't even know y'all would know who I was, but I mean, it's great that y'all know who I am, and I'm happy to be here.
So they knew his name.
They did. They did know his name, and he was shocked by that. It's like, but you're an NFL player now. You know, I know you haven't officially made the team, but, you know, you're a second-round pick. Not only do they already know your name, they've been studying you for months. I mean, he's a guy that the Chiefs have liked for a long time, really versatile safety. And so when you're going through all these mock drafts, I mean, he was kind of a dream player for a lot of Chiefs fans. So, of course, they knew who he is. But I think that has to be such a great moment to be in that position, to know, you know, go from what feels like a relative nobody, at least as far as, you know, NFL fans go, to being recognized. And he's giving a talk on the stage, saying hello to all these Chiefs fans. And it was funny because when we talked to him right after he got drafted, it was kind of a dry interview. I don't remember coming away from it being like, oh, well, we've got so much to work with here. But he was super animated when we talked to him Saturday, and I think we ended up talking with him for like over 8 minutes.
Yeah.
He was great.
He seemed to be comfortable in the environment, which is good. Now it's a matter of being comfortable in the secondary, which is what the Chiefs really need.
Yes.
I think you and I talked about this in our as we were standing out there, that I think we kind of agree that of the 6 drafted players, he may end up with the most snaps of
Yes.
anybody. That's assuming Allegretti doesn't start at center. I guess that's still a possibility.
He and Austin Ryder, I think, are going to go head to head for that.
Yeah,
for that
so
job.
maybe among the defensive players,
Yeah.
maybe more than Fenton, who I see is
He's a special teamer.
special teamer, maybe a 3rd or 4th cornerback
Right.
for the depth.
He'll get some work in the preseason.
Absolutely, he will. Absolutely.
I think that Juan Thornhill right now projects as a day one free safety, starting out there with Tyrann Mathieu. That's kind of the way that I think the Chiefs see it. Obviously, he's going to have some veteran competition. I mean, Dan Sorensen is still there. He's going to have to deal with Jordan. I can see his face. You know what? My brain could not be more fried.
Jordan Lucas.
Lucas. I was saying in my head it was Lewis, and I was like, I know that's not right. He'll have Jordan Lucas to contend with. I mean, there's a couple guys that he's going to have to beat out for that spot. But if he keeps making plays on the ball the way that he was making them in rookie minicamp, I think that that's kind of where he's projecting to be right now.
I may be wrong. I probably am, but I think the last rookie, defensive rookie to start for the Chiefs was Marcus Peters in 2015.
Well, it's fitting then because they have the same jersey.
They do. In fact, I think when that question was asked of Juan the other day, he was asked about his uniform number. He wore 21 in college, and he was looking for 21 when he became a member of the Chiefs.
Which is funny. Who has 21? Because that was Steven Nelson, and Steven Nelson
was 20. I think
he was 20.
Eric Murray was 21.
So regardless,
It
the number
seemed
is
to have been
available.
But he had a little change of heart and wanted to kind of take a step, right? Take a
Right.
step in his career, move up a number. So he goes from 21 to 22, which was the Marcus Peters number for the Chiefs. And look, that worked out. Marcus Peters was a phenomenal rookie. I think he had 8 picks that year and was the AFC Defensive Player of the Year. So I don't think anybody's expecting that from Juan Thornhill. But I agree. I think that he has the opportunity to start. It's a position of need for sure. And I think the Chiefs need to get starts from their draft class. They just do. The economics of football are such that when the players are at their least expensive when it comes to salary, you got to play them and get production out of them. So I do think we'll see Thornhill start on the defensive side.
Yeah, and I think that's something too that the Chiefs draft class last year didn't really have that. I mean, it took Breeland Speaks a while to be a starter, and even then he was really just starting as a replacement for Justin Houston. And then, I mean, Derek Nottie eventually became a starter, but a lot of those guys that feels like they drafted last year ended up being more developmental projects, and I think they need more NFL-ready guys out of this class. And it seems like right now that they have that, which is a real testament considering that they didn't have a first-round pick because of the Frank Clark trade.
Right.
And so I think that at least right now it seems like the Chiefs have a pretty good draft class.
Dorian O'Daniel was another one from that class last year. And people keep talking about how Armani Watts was coming on before he had the season-ending injury. We'll see about that. But that's right. I mean, they didn't get a ton of starts from the draft class last year, and I just think that for a team to develop and for the Chiefs to be the team that they want to be, they've got to get that position is just important, and they got to and to be able to work with Tyrann Mathieu as you said in the story as a complementary player. I think this defense will be able to help bring Thornhill along as a good player. One other position group we should talk about, though, is linebacker. And I spoke with Gary Johnson today, the free agent, the rookie free agent from Texas. He's pretty stoked about being here. He said he's had conversations with Derek Johnson almost every day from the time that he...
Hey, that's helpful.
Yeah, the career tackle leader for the Chiefs, both Texas guys,
Both Johnsons.
Both Johnsons, that's right. What if they weren't only 15 years apart, they could be twins. So the Chiefs did not address the linebacker in the draft.
Sure did not.
So it looks like they tried to do it in rookie free agency with Gary Johnson and also the Middle Tennessee State
Darius Harris,
who did not practice out with an injury here, but the Chiefs are pretty high on him, and I think look for him to be part of this organization going forward.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really interested to read your Gary Johnson story that's going to come later this week. But I mean, I think he looked good. He was running, I think, with the second team on defense yesterday and bumped up to the first team today. Been running first team on special teams, so maybe he's this year's Ben Neiman. That's how the Chiefs kind of addressed the linebacker position last year, was through undrafted free agency. So we'll see.
Okay, so what's coming up next for the Chiefs? They're off for week and a half,
maybe a little
bit less than that.
Yeah, the rookies, I believe, return in a week. I know that when we walked off the field today, the last thing that we heard from the PR folks was "see ya for phase 3," which kind of feels like it's like a brainwash thing, or I don't really know. Maybe like a Star Trek situation. I don't know. Just hearing "see you back for phase 3" sounded like kind of ominous. Ominous.
Let's go with that one.
Whew, that sun today. It sounded evil. But yeah. So yeah, we'll come back with OTAs next Thursday, I believe, and then we'll get to see some of the big boys come out, the vets.
Yep. And
whoever chooses to show up.
Right. That's always a story, whoever decides to be here. And then there's another week of that the following week.
I believe we have 3 OTA practices, 1 a week for 3 weeks.
And then the mandatory camp in mid-June before they close it down for the summer. They get their 15-minute summer break before training camps. No, it's actually about 3.5 weeks, I think. So, all right, Brooke, I guess that'll do it for today.
All right, well,
thanks for coming in, stopping by, and we will continue to follow your coverage of the Chiefs in the Kansas City Star. Links to the stories we discussed can be found in the show notes and on kansascity.com. Thanks for listening to Sports Beat KC, and we'll talk sports again soon.